Welcome, everyone. Thank you for attending. Thanks, Red Club, for sponsoring this marvelous event. Just want to talk to you quickly about Pilar Gold. We're a fairly new kid on the block. I think today we're officially 2 years old from when we incorporated the company in Alberta. And since then, we've done 3 significant acquisitions, and we'll touch on some of this. Okay, so most recently, and we're about to close this transaction next week, is the acquisition of the Laiva project in Finland. We paid $23.5 million for that project, and there's a 2.5 NSR on it. Very sweet project, large-scale open pits. Lots of room for expansion as far as resource and everything is concerned. 6,000 ton per day, pretty much state-of-the-art in mint condition. So with this acquisition, Pandion becomes our largest shareholder. They own 12.3%. We talked about the infrastructure briefly. Replacement cost today likely on that type of facility is somewhere in the neighborhood of about 500,000 US. And the bonus for us is we're taking on this project with zero debt attached to it. Okay, so here's a look at our key metrics where we are today. We currently have a resource of about 5.15 million ounces. Current annualized production is about 45,000 ounces, and our near and medium term growth, we see that growing to 200,000 ounces over the next 18-24 months. We have 2 significant gold facilities, processing plants, 5 underground mines, several open pits, and then we have really exciting news on one of our exploration areas, which we look at bringing into production in Q1 of 2023. It's called Sertão in Brazil, and it averages about 38 grams per ton on 50 holes, mineralized holes there. Here's where we're located in Brazil. To the north, we have the PGDM mines and 3 underground mines and a 4,500 ton per day processing facility. Sertão, I mentioned, is very high grade, and we're looking at production starting in Q1 2023. And most recently, the Laiva mine, which we're about to close ownership on next week. So, as I said, today we're sitting at about 45,000 annualized ounces of production. With the PGDM underground mines, it averages about 1 gram per ton, slightly above. And then, so for 2023, we'll have that core production, but on top of that, we're going to layer on Sertão and Laiva, and each of those should produce about 50,000 ounces for next year on an annualized basis, depending on the exact start time. 2024, as we further ramp up production, should be over 200,000 ounces. Okay, here we have a quick peek at our resources here. Most of the resource currently is with the PGDM assets. We've got the Pilar underground mine, we've got Maria Lazara, and between the 2 of them, they're a little over 4 million ounces. And then we also have Tres Barracas, which is an open pit development, which we'll talk on very briefly, Caiamar, and most recently, Laiva. Here's our management team, very experienced in the industry. Israel leads our Brazilian charge. Richard Crew is our country manager. Jeremy and Thomas, they're well-known players in the field. Here's our share structure currently. We have a lot of mom and pop shareholders, over 400 shareholders. We do have with Pandian coming on board, they're a fairly significant shareholder, and then we have some smaller institutional and brokerage house investors. Here's our current share structure. On a fully diluted basis, we're sitting at 293 million shares. We're in the middle of a current offering, which is $5 million at $1. It's a full warrant attached, good for 2 years at $1.50. Okay, here's some key highlights for the Live acquisition. We mentioned the plant already, built in 2011. As you can see, most of it is housed, so it's not exposed to the elements, in really good condition. It's currently on care and maintenance. We're looking at bringing that on in Q1 2023 in the springtime, likely beginning of Q2. There's a good sizable area there. There's lots of room for expansion of resource here. There's a south pit, a north pit, and there's a new pit that needs development. There's a large stockpile of ore there, about 3 million tons, and it grades about 0.5, 0.6. That's likely where we'll start production from, because we can do that at a very economic cost. Here, again, we talk about some of the aspects of Liva, which we've mostly talked on already. There is the potential here to reach 100,000 ounces per annum from this mine. Okay, kind of more of the same here. You can see these pits are very young pits. They're not deep at all at this point in time. Lots of room for resource to grow. I'll just carry on with that. One of the interesting things about Liva is from its past history, it didn't have the benefit of where we're at with foreign exchange and the euro as compared to the US dollar for the price of gold. As you can see, we're pretty much at a near recent time high in the last 20 years of the price of gold in euros, which is a big advantage. Okay, here's kind of the timeline that we're projecting on this. Turn on the mill with low-grade stockpile, restart mining in April. First gold sales will be shortly after that. Restart mining at the north pit, and then build to kind of a steady state of 6,000 tons per day. Achieve 5,000 ounces per month by end of year, all the while optimizing mill capacity, and aim for 6,500 ounces per month thereafter. This gives you an idea of the production growth with PGDM assets, Liva assets, and them combined. And by the end of 2024, looking for 200,000 ounce plus production corporately. Here we take a look at the Liva mineral resource, total measured and indicated about 440,000 ounces. That's at 1.5 grams per ton. There's a good amount of inferred, but these will require more drilling as we go along, because there's lots more resource to be found there. We'll touch quickly on our Brazilian operations here. Our key assets, I talked about a 4,500 ton per day, our PGDM gold plant. Sertão is where it's a past producer. We'll talk on that a little bit more here. Just getting some exceptional grades, looking at bringing that on in beginning at Q2 next year. We've got Pilar underground, 2 underground mines at Pilar itself. One right next door called Maria Lazara. It's about 12 kilometers from PGDM. About 40 kilometers away, we have a mine which is currently on care and maintenance. We look at bringing that in on production probably second half of 2023. Bit better grade than at the Pilar underground. It's about 3.5 grams per ton. So that will be trucked to the PGDM facility. Tres Barracas is actually the up-dip extension of the Pilar underground mine. So we're looking at a rough timeline on that of 2024, bringing that into production. The bonus there is we'll be able to reduce operating costs from an open pit as compared to mining underground. Alicio is a very, very exciting earlier stage project. So far, there's been bulk sampling done over a 1.5 kilometer strike length with very nice results, averaging just under 2.5 grams per ton. And this feature is about 15 kilometers in length, and we have an exploration program going on there as we speak. So for Brazil, a big part of our strategy is the hub and spoke method. We've got that 4,500 ton per day facility. So currently producing from Pilar 1 and 2, Maria Lazara, looking at bringing on Caimar halfway through 2023, Tres Barracas planned for 2024, and as I mentioned before, Sertão, looking at bringing that on in Q1, beginning of Q2 next year. So here is Sertão. It's a past producer. It was famous in the years 2003 to 2006, kind of widely known as the lowest cost, highest grade open pit gold mine in the world. Over that short period of time, it produced 260,000 ounces. We have acquired it with our acquisition of Fina Goldfields at the beginning of this year. Drilling so far is excellent, and an average over 50 holes is 1.3 meters, grading 38 grams per ton. We have 3 reef systems. I'll touch on those very briefly because I'm running out of time. Nielsen's Reef is the highest grading, a little bit thinner than Cruz Reef. Average depth 30 meters, average grade 64 grams per ton. Cruz Reef a little bit thicker, about double in thickness, and it averages 19.2 grams per ton. Lima's Reef is a new discovery by ourselves, just an indication of what it might be, 3 meters of 102 grams per ton. Here, we did talk on Troy Resources, the past producer here. There's some nice information on it, but its head grade at the time was 46 grams per ton, 98% recovery, so the metallurgy is good. And we won't see this in today's world, but it was about $35 an ounce to produce it. This is what has us really excited about Sertão. This SRT-001 at the top of the screen there is 1.3 kilometers away on strike. And we have a hole there of 2 meters at 18.7 grams per ton. As you can see, it's going up a small hill or mountain, and that's at a depth of 550. Here, what we've done, the outlines in red are where the previous mining had occurred, and we're fence drilling on strike to the west in the direction of SRT-001, and we're hitting on pretty much every hole. The continuity is fantastic. Our main reef called Nielsen's Reef, as we go further to the west, it looks like it's expanding in width, so that's a nice positive sign. We'd like to be doing a lot more drilling here than we are now. We've got 1 rig working, but really it deserves 6 or 8 rigs. So as we expand our working capital, we'll look at accelerating drilling there. Pilar is a good, stable underground mine, averages right around a gram per ton. We produce about 3,000 tons a day from the Pilar underground mines. Maria Lazari said is next door, 12 kilometers away. It tends to be a little bit higher in grade, about 1.6 grams per ton. We have a new exploration development area called Maria Lazaro Southeast, and it looks like I'm out of time.